afternoon, boys and girls. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you enjoyed last week's video on sedimentary rocks, and I hope you're ready for this week's video on the formation of fossil fuels. Woo! So, last week we discussed sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks are important because that's where we find fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are three of our non-renewable resources, so oil, coal, and natural gas. In this week's video, we are going to discuss what fossil fuels are and how they're formed, as well as where we can find them. So make sure you have something to take notes with, make sure you have a pencil, piece of paper, and let's begin. We're going to begin by discussing what fossil fuels are. Fossil fuels are non-renewable resources. They can take hundreds of millions of years to make. We burn these resources, we use these resources to create energy as well as fuel. These resources currently provide the majority of the energy that we use in our homes and in other places. So they're very important and they're non-renewable because they take hundreds of millions of years to make. Today, we're going to discuss an example of how we can find oil and natural gas at the bottom of the ocean. As you can see, 300 to 400 million years ago, the ocean used to be a lot deeper. And like today, it was filled with aquatic life. This aquatic life are examples of organisms. So over time, these organisms die and they fall to the bottom of the ocean. At the same time, sediment is being piled on top of these dead plants and animals. Sediment at the bottom of the ocean would mostly be sand and silt. So these layers of sediment build on top of and mix with the dead plants and animals, forming sedimentary rock. And we see that inside of the sedimentary rock, we have the remains of dead animals. These dead animals and plants have heat and pressure applied to them from the weight of the layers of the sediment. So the same way that sedimentary rock is formed by pressure, oil and natural gas are also formed by pressure. As more and more layers build up, and as time passes, notice that we're going from 300 to 400 million years ago till today. So over another tens and hundreds of millions of years, as the sediment builds up and the pressure applies, that begins to form oil. Now, the key is that in order for these dead organisms to turn into natural gas and oil, both heat and pressure have to be applied. So when these layers are building up, they're heating up the dead organisms and they're compacting them, they're applying pressure. Those two together turn the remains of fossil fuels into oil and natural gas. Notice that I marked the oil in black, natural gas right there in orange. That was today's lesson on the formation of fossil fuels. The key takeaways you should have is that in order for fossil fuels to form, you need several things. First, you need sedimentary rocks. Two, you need organic matter. So you need the fossils of plants and animals. Three, you need time. Fossil fuels can take up to hundreds of millions of years to form. So you have to have a lot of time. Four, you need pressure. You need to have the weight of layers of rock on top of your fossil fuels. And five, you need heat. So you need all five of those in order for fossil fuels to form successfully. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments or to send me a message. You're going to have a brief assignment on this and a quiz on STEM skills. I know y'all are going to do well. I hope you enjoyed everything. Have a good rest of your day. Adios, niños. Nos vemos.